All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is a rainy, cloudy, gorgeous day in Florida. Yes, this is a gorgeous day. We need the rain, we need the coolness, and the Lord even just worked it out to keep all the rain south. We've got, when you go outside, you'll notice we've got our preschool playground is getting some work done on it, so we thought it was going to rain all day today, and then the Lord just took a little bit of that rain and pushed the clouds south so they could get going and start on the preschool playground. And we got a lot of things going on here at school. So good to see you, smiling faces. Everybody brush your teeth. Let's see, show me. Comb your mustache. Yeah, good. Okay, very good. Comb your hair. Yep, keep your hair out of your eyes, off the side. Very good. All right, hope you got your voices warmed up, ready for some good singing. All right, praise team's been working hard, so they got some good songs for you today. All right, look at my man right there in the middle there, Mr. Wilkie. You ready to go?
Yeah,
you got these guys?
guys?
You ready? Good. All right, get him going.
All right, guys, let's stand. Let's worship.
Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. Everything around me is shaking. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus. He's never let me down. He's faithful through generations.
give it up for the praise team again. Thank you guys for leading us this morning. Well, good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, let's remain standing. We'll do our pledges. So if we could have our flag holders and our Bible holder come on up. Over here, buddy. William. All right, let's start with the American flag. Attention, salute, and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And to the Christian flag, attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the Christian flag and to the Savior for whose kingdom it stands, one Savior, crucified, risen, and coming again, with life and liberty to all who believe. And to the Bible, attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word. I will make it a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And I will hide its words in my heart, that I might not sin against God. E-I-E-L-E, yes, that's the book for me. I stand upon the word of God, the E-I-E-L-E, Bible. All right, hey, great job this morning. You can be seated. Hey, this morning we got a couple guests with us. They're over from Trinity College of Florida. One's going to speak to our middle and high. And this morning for you guys, we have a former student pastor. I used to be the student pastor right here at this church. And he's over at Trinity College working the admissions, but also as a pastor of a church called Mosaic here in town. You guys give it up this morning for Dr. Christopher Gates.
Good morning. Am I on? Hello. Can you hear me? Yes? Okay, good. How you guys doing? It's weird. You have to just give me a second because I'm just, the last time I was here was like 10 years ago, back when I used to be here and I would do chapels all the time, and it's just really a cool moment to be here. I'm very excited. Thank you, Pastor Brian. He's around somewhere. He introduced me as, is it? My phone. Can you guys hear me? I can talk loud. It's not a problem. Or I'll just take a handheld, either one. But Pastor Brian introduced me as Dr. Gates. That's what they call me over at the college. I have several titles. At the college, they call me Dr. Gates. Over at the church, they call me Pastor Chris. To three very special young ladies in here, I am Uncle Chris. My nieces are right over there, Aubrey and Rebecca and Cheyenne, and that's really fun. My mom just got here too. It's a whole reunion here. Hi family. And she just calls me Sweetie. I have a bunch of different titles, ways that people refer to me, but my very favorite, my absolute title, can you guys guess it? It's Dada. That is my favorite right now. I just became a father here recently. It is actually today is my oldest son's. He's 18 months old. Today is his 18-month, whatever it is, celebration, birthday. What do you call it? He's 18 months old today, 1 year and 1/2 old today. He's over in the daycare over there. I got to drop him off this morning. He got stuff all over me. It was really sweet. But and then just 2 weeks ago today, we had our second son. My first son is Simon, and number 2 son is Deacon. I brought pictures because I know that you guys want to see them. This is, I think I have Deacon first, the little baby. Oh, here they are together. Oh my goodness, look at them. They love each other. That's Deacon. He's just a little potato right now, so he doesn't do a whole lot. He just kind of lays there, but that's fun. And Simon, he's so expressive. I got a picture of him he's riding on a carousel. Let's see this one, this next one of Simon. We have it? is coming. Oh, well, there's Deacon. That's Deacon in the hospital. That's just 2 weeks ago today. And then go to the other one. This is the one. Look at this. Look at that guy. He's a champion, huh? He's very, very expressive, has lots of emotions, even as a young little child. A whole swell of emotions. We actually got up this morning. There it is. We got up this morning, and his favorite book is I Love You Through and Through. And he wakes up in the morning and he runs and he gets it and he brings it to me and we sit down and we read it. And I Love You Through and Through talks about all the different ways that I love my son, and we go through it. And one of the reasons that I love him is for all of the different emotions that he has. And it goes through all of the different ones: when he's happy, when he's silly, when he's sad, when he's mad, when he kind of is frustrated. And we talk about all of those things because I love him even in all of those. And what's really interesting is, as I was thinking about it, and even as I was reminded this morning, that you guys, even as little guys, life starts to get heavy kind of fast sometimes, doesn't it? Does it ever feel like kind of just like life just feels like there's a lot going on? Like, I got school, I miss my parents. You guys still miss your parents when you come to school? Is that a thing? Couple of you. Yeah, that's okay. You can say it. It's okay. If anybody picks on you, the teachers will be on that. I miss my son as soon as I drop him off, and he misses me, and I'm just like, my heart's broken all the time when I have to leave him and drop him off with people that I actually know his teacher, so it's not so bad. But you can have all kinds of different emotions, and Paul talks about this in 2 Corinthians. And let me share this verse with you to kick things off here today. He says that he's talking about his life. And he says in 2 Corinthians 1:8, he says that we were crushed and overwhelmed beyond our ability to endure, and we thought that we would never live through it. And Paul is talking about this very difficult time that he was going through, and he said the difficulty in his life made it feel like he was being crushed. And it's kind of funny because when you get a little bit older, you can kind of do a little better expressing kind of like how you feel, putting words to it. But sometimes when life gets heavy, does it ever feel like it's just like, my son Simon, when he gets sad, mainly right now, the main reasons that he gets sad is when he wants something that's on the counter and he can't reach it, and he's reaching up for like the peanut butter, or he's reaching up for the blender or something like that, and he wants to touch it and he can't grab it. So then he does this thing where he just like squeezes in like this, and he just, "Ah!" And it's like there's something like squeezing him and like crushing him, and that's how he feels. He feels this kind of pressure, this overwhelming sense of kind of strain, so it makes him kind of crunch down like this. And I was thinking about it because it's weird how sometimes our emotions play on the actual reality of life. And have you ever felt like pressure? Do you know what I mean? Who likes to swim? Does anybody like to swim in here? A lot of swimmers. Okay. How many of you in your swimming careers already at this young age, how many of you can swim in the deep end? Okay, all right, very good. That's most of you. How many of you have been in a pool that's like maybe 8 or 10 feet deep or something like that? Okay, can you pick up the rings from the bottom of those pools, like you throw them in or something, or a toy, and then you have to play? That's what I used to play with my siblings. We'd go down and we'd get the stuff, throw it in the bottom. You know how sometimes when you get down there, it kind of starts to like squeeze your ears a little bit, you know? That's because there's a bunch of pressure under the water. That's the way that water works. When you get down low in the water, all of the water that's on top of you is actually pushing down on you, and it's kind of like having a bunch of weight piled on top of you. And it feels like there's a bunch of pressure. And I thought that today, I shared this in here 10 years ago, this very same talk, and the kids loved it. So I thought, try it again, see if kids are still the same 10 years later. I bet that you guys are. Can we bring the lights down a little bit, actually? Because this is going to be real fun. Do you guys want to go deep down into the water? Down into the deep depths of the water and see what we can see down there? We have a little guided tour through the water we're going to do today. So if we can't bring the lights down, that's fine too. I don't know if you guys can be trusted with no lights. So we're going to go down, miles down into the water. And just to give you an idea of how far down we're going, what a mile is. Do you guys know the World Trade Center building in New York City? I have a picture of it here. Do you see that one right there, that really, really tall building? That is 1,776 feet tall. That's how tall that building is. Look how tall it is. If you look down at the bottom, you could see like where a person would be. That would look like an ant all the way down there at the bottom. So that's 1,776 feet tall. If you wanted to go a mile into the air, you would have to stack 3 of those on top of each other, and that would equal 1 mile. So if you want to go a mile down under the water, it would be you take 3 of those, and then you plunge them down into the water, and then you would be a mile deep in the water. And stuff starts to get really, really weird when you get a mile deep in the water. And one of the things that happens is that when you go a mile deep in the water, every cubic inch, so that is every just one little inch of water in the shape of a cube, every cubic inch weighs over 1,000 pounds when you go a mile deep. Isn't that crazy? Because there's a mile of water on top of it, and all that water is pushing down on that one little spot. So it's 1,000 pounds per cubic inch. It's crazy. And there's all of these weird animals that live down there. So I brought a couple pictures. Do you want to see some pictures of some weird animals that live deep down in the water? All right. I can't pronounce any of these names. Even if you get a PhD, you still can't pronounce names like this. This one is called Thalassacalaceae. I don't know how to say that. Just pretend I got it right. They sometimes call this one a blood jellyfish, and you can see why, right? It has all of these different little lights. They light up. They have lights. They can create their own light down there, and it kind of looks like a weird, like, I don't know, a brain or something weird. So that's one of them. Let's see. We got another one in there somewhere. Okay, yep, look at that one. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. Let's just look at them because it's just more fun that way. That looks like a weird Jello mold or something, doesn't it? Like a hat. Something that somebody would wear. That one's pretty crazy. What do we got next? What's the next one? Oh, this is one of my favorites. Look at that thing. Isn't that weird? That's a jellyfish. It lights up. It has its own lights on the inside. It's kind of shaped. It looks like lungs almost or something, kind of like two lungs. I thought that one was really cool. That's what jellyfish look like when you go a mile down into the water. What's the next one do we have? Oh, look at that one. That one's fun. This is one of my favorite ones. This one is called a glass squid. It has that thing, if you stretch that thing out, that's 10 feet long. 10 feet long. Isn't that crazy? It looks like a weird, like, I don't know, it looks like fire coming out of the back, but that's not fire. It's just some weird, like, I don't know, fibrous things or something. Anyway, that one's cool. What's next? Oh, here we go. Look at this guy. Weirder and weirder, huh? That looks like an alien. Doesn't that look like an alien? Has like eyes and weird tentacles down there. Pretty weird. Okay, next one. Oh, yeah. That was pretty neat, huh? What is this one? This is the Megalelodon. Whatever that is. It's 6 feet, or 6 feet. It's 3 feet long, and it has inside, it's got this little drill. It's got like a beak that it can drill down through shells of animals, and then it sucks out all the insides. That's pretty cool, isn't it? A weird little octopus guy. What's the next one? Oh, the Dumbo octopus. I love this one. They call it the Dumbo octopus. Can you tell why? It kind of looks like it's got like elephant ears, doesn't it? There's another picture. Go to the next one. This one helps you see a little more. Is that weird? You guys aren't nearly as excited about this as the last group of kids was that saw this. That's so strange. It looks like an elephant. It looks like if there was just an elephant head down in the water somewhere, deep down. And this is what happens when this guy gets scared. Go to the next one. This is what he does when he gets scared. It looks like Pikachu, doesn't it? That's what I was thinking. It looks just like Pikachu. So that's him. Then there's these weird things called pteropods. So that's a snail. That's a deep underwater snail when it doesn't have a shell on. That's pretty cool, isn't it? There's another pteropod in here. Look at that one. Isn't that crazy? That looks like an angel, doesn't it? That's what I thought when I saw it. It looks like what?
Looks like my dad.
It looks like your dad when he has too much to eat. Oh boy. Okay, we won't tell him you said that. And there's one more still. One more. Yeah, look at that one. Isn't that cool? That's what slugs look like deep down in the water. And these are all pretty, like they're fun. They're cute looking animals. But did you know that there's some kind of weird, some kind of like ugly looking animals? You guys want to see some of the ugly ones? Do you think you can do it? I'm giving you a warning right now. These aren't pretty. These aren't pretty. Let's do it. All right. Here we go. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, this one is called Hang on. Hey, this one is called a frilled shark. They usually live way, way deep down, deep down. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. That's why I brought it, because it's so exciting. They live way down, but this one came up. You can see that the water behind it's a little blue. So they never see these alive. But this guy came all the way up. He was dying, actually, so that's how they were able to get a picture of him. But, you know, this is one of God's creations. It's kind of strange. You look at them, and they're like, oh, these are kind of ugly. What were you thinking, God, when you made this? And there's a whole theological take on what God was thinking when he made it, but that's not the lesson for today. So that's a frilled shark. This is just, we're just getting started with the ugly ones. You want to see another ugly one? All right, go to the next one. This is, that's called a gulper eel. And you see how it's got like, you see his like jaw down at the bottom? What the gulper eel does is his jaw's on a hinge. And he can actually drop it down, and then it goes out, and he can grab fish with it and bring it back in and eat them. The gulper eel. That one's pretty weird. And then we have the anglerfish. Look at this one. Pretty weird. He has a little light on his head, right? And he uses that light, and he can attract other animals. I think it's in one of the movies or something. Oh gosh, there's that one. Yeah, there's another. That's another anglerfish. And I saved the craziest one for the last one. Are you guys ready for this? This is the ugliest fish you've probably ever seen in your life. It's another anglerfish. Are you ready? Can you guys do it? Here we go. Let's see it. Whoa. That's an anglerfish. And he just sits way down at the bottom of the ocean. Go to the next slide so we don't give these kids nightmares. Okay. So these are the fish that live way, way, way deep, deep down in the ocean. And again, they're kind of scary looking, but you have to think about it. God made these animals. He made them. And it's kind of interesting the way that he made some animals that we think are really pretty to look at and others that aren't so pretty to look at. But all of this creation is all way deep, deep down under the water. And you might be thinking to yourself, if you remember the little science lesson that we started with to begin this thing, how do these animals, how do they live so deep down in the ocean? And how are we able to get pictures if you go a mile deep down into the ocean? Some of these animals are 4 miles deep. That means you would have to do 12 World Trade buildings down into the water. That means that at that level, the water weighs thousands and thousands of pounds per square inch. It would be like having an elephant stand right on the center of your chest. Nobody could survive in there. So how do we get all these pictures? Does anybody know how we get these pictures? This young man right here. Very good. It is. It's a submarine. I have a picture of the submarine that they use to go down there. There's various types, but this is one of the types of submarine that they take down there. And if you look at this submarine, you can kind of tell if you look closely at this picture. You see the yellow structure there, and then there's that sphere, that glass sphere. Sphere is one of the strongest shapes in all of, kind of geometry in all of the world, the sphere. But you can see that he's inside, and you see how it looks like there's like a little black kind of circle around him on the inside of that too, like right behind him. That's because the glass, that back part is the glass on that dome around him is 24 inches thick. And it's this really, really strong polymer plexiglass that can withstand a bunch of pressure. It's 24 inches thick of glass. So the glass, in your parents' vehicle is about this thick. It's, a couple centimeters. This is 2 feet thick, the glass. And the only way that we're able to go down there is if this guy puts this really, really hard shell around him. And he puts a hard shell, a hard exterior around him so that he doesn't get crushed. And that's his way, that's our way of dealing with the pressure, is they have to put this hard shell around the guy so he doesn't get crushed. But what's really interesting, I saved my favorite fish for the last fish. This is called the barrel-eyed fish. Look at this one. It kind of looks like a submarine, doesn't it? It kind of looks like if God made a fish and that fish was a submarine, that's what it looks like. And it almost looks like in the center or at the front there, it almost looks kind of just like that submarine we looked at. This is what's crazy about this guy. Those 2 black things in the front of his head, those aren't his eyes. That's actually his nostrils. He smells and senses through there. His eyes are those kind of green domes on the inside, and that's how he sees. So he has this kind of lens that goes over his eyes right there, and he's kind of always looking up because the light comes from the top, the little bit that comes down, and he's able to see it. So he's always kind of looking up. But you see, it looks like he has a little dome around him too, doesn't it? Just like that submarine. Our submarine dome was 24 inches thick. This guy's little dome is like a millimeter thick. It's only 1 little millimeter thick. But this guy doesn't get crushed when he's way deep, deep down in the water. And if our guy didn't have 24 inches of a shield around him, he would get crushed. So scientists, when they tried to figure out why is it that these animals that are way down there don't get crushed, but if we went down there, we would be crushed, how do they survive? And there's a big, long scientific equation that kind of explains it in a bunch of fancy words, but let me just put it to you like this. The reason that the fish can survive down there is because the fish have something inside of them. They have a pressure inside of them that is equal to the pressure that is outside of them. So the makeup on their insides, the chemical makeup inside of them is equal to the pressure that is outside of them so that they aren't crushed. If we want to go down there, we have to put a hard exterior around us. We have to make it really hard on the outside. Basically, it's kind of like how some people deal with pain. When you get hurt a lot, when you have a lot of bad feelings, when you've experienced a lot of things, you can just get hard to the world. You just get a thick skin. You get really tough. You kind of get insensitive sometimes, and then you forget how to love. You forget how to care. You forget how to have grace and forgiveness for people, and you get really hard. But that's not how we're supposed to deal with pressure in life. And this fish is an example of that to us. This fish has a pressure on the inside of it that's as great as the pressure outside. And Paul, remember we started off talking about Paul, and he said that we're having all of these hard times, and it's beyond what we can even bear. He said it feels like we're going to be crushed. But how were they not crushed? How was Paul not crushed? Well, this is what he says later on in that same letter. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, in verse 8, he says that we are hard-pressed on every side. We feel pressure on every side, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. We are persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. And this is why he says that we're not crushed or destroyed. Because we always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. And this is what we learned from the barrel-eye fish in the message that I have for you guys in here today. Is that what Paul says is, he said, the way that I'm not crushed when hard times come is because I remember that I have something inside of me that is greater, that is stronger than any of the pressure outside of me. And that thing that's inside of me that keeps me standing, the thing that's inside of me that keeps me from being crushed when I'm having my hardest day, when it's a really tough day and I miss my parents and the kids are picking on me in my class and they're being mean and they're pulling my hair. We don't have any of that. Simon just bit somebody the other day in class. He's learning how to behave with friends. Somebody bit me. You're having a tough day. I can't reach the peanut butter on the shelf, whatever it is, and it feels like you just feel like you're just going to be squeezed. Remember the barrel-eye fish. And remember what Paul said. Paul said, when I'm squeezed beyond what I think I can possibly bear, I remember that I won't be crushed because I have Jesus inside of me. And he's going to keep me strong. He's going to keep me firm so that I can stand up against the greatest pressure. And that's what I wanted to remind you guys of in here today. If you guys are feeling like life is really, really heavy, and I know that life is heavy. Life felt heavy for me even when I was just a little kid. I had some big, big emotions as a little boy. Lots of kind of life felt hard and difficult, and I know that it might for you. If you guys are feeling that way, I'd encourage you to talk to your parents. Share with them how you're feeling. Talk to your teachers. You guys know one of the great things about being here at Elfers Christian School is that all of your teachers care so much about you. Every one of your teachers. I know most of the teachers here, and I know that every one of them cares so deeply for you, and they would love to talk to you. If you guys are having any kind of a hard time, you should talk to them. And if you guys are in here and you might be saying, I don't know what you're talking about Jesus. I hope you guys know about Jesus. Does everybody in here know Jesus? Yes? I hope that you do. You should hear about him every single day. But if you're in here today and you don't know You might say, I don't know if I do have Jesus inside of me. I don't know if I do. I'm not going to try to explain that to you right now in the 2 minutes that I have left. What I am going to do is I'm going to tell you that you should talk to your teachers about that. You should talk to Pastor Brian about that. Talk to Mr. Robertson about that. Talk to somebody and ask them. If you're confused about that at all, ask them to explain that to you. And you guys, you can stand up against any of the pressures in life if you have Jesus. I'm going to pray, and then we're going to go. Heavenly Father, thank you for today, God. I thank you for this opportunity to be here to learn from your creation, God. All of these mysteries about yourself and about the world that you have packed into these interesting little creatures, God, that we can learn from. And we thank you for the barrel-eye fish today, God. What an amazing, amazing creature that you made. And we thank you that we can learn from him. We thank you that we can learn from a fish, God, that if we have you inside of us, we can stand up to the greatest pressures, to the greatest struggles, and we won't be crushed. So we thank you for that, God. I thank you for each one of these children. I thank you for their parents. I thank you for their teachers. I ask, God, that you would just raise up a generation, God, a new generation of followers, God, who would stand tall, who would stand firm in a world that feels like it's just trying to squish us all out, God. Make them strong. Make them serve you and follow after you. We ask in your name. And all God's children said, Amen. Thank you guys for letting me share.
Hey, give it up for Dr. Pastor Chris. Appreciate you coming to share your heart today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, parents and grandparents, thank you again for coming today. Appreciate your support each and every week. So you guys are dismissed. Have a great day.